Welcome back to GoSycamores.com, everybody. Now time to turn our attention to the track and field program. Not too long ago, I was in Eugene, Oregon for the national championships. One guy who was used to making trips out to Eugene is Gregmar Swift, and as well around the globe. We welcome Gregmar here in our studios here in Terre Haute. Gregmar, it's great to see you, man. How are you doing these days?
I'm doing good, man. It's actually good to be back here being interviewed.
For you, what has been really your schedule these days? And give Sycamore fans kind of an update of what you've been doing.
Well, wow, my schedule have been really hectic. I'm completing my master's degree here at Indiana State, and I'm still a professional athlete representing Adidas. So it's all about time management and being able to manage a hectic master's degree program and still being able to compete at with the best in the world. Throughout the year, throughout the semester, I've just been traveling, trying to get my studies done, and competing. So that's what I've been doing throughout the year.
How special is Indiana State to you?
Indiana State is my home. I hold it closest to my heart. Other than Barbados, it's then Indiana State for me. Indiana State have brought me everything in my life. From coming from Barbados, having absolutely nothing, to coming to Indiana State and receiving a track and field scholarship, and thanks to that, having a career and an opportunity to run for Adidas, and then prolonging my career, academically, and giving me a master's degree as well.
When you think back to when you got the scholarship offer to come to Indiana State, what do you remember most about when you got the offer and what your reaction was to it?
That's funny. When I got the offer from Indiana State, it was actually only 70%, and I was like, 70%? Who is Indiana State? What is Indiana State? I never heard of Indiana before coming to Indiana State, But I did my research, and I talked to Coach Jeff Martin a lot. Absolutely every week, he would call me, run his phone bill up, and tell me a little bit about Indiana State, find out how I'm doing. But I was like, what is Indiana State? I was definitely not going to come to Indiana State, so.
You brought up Jeff Martin. Of course, the Martins now in full-time roles here. They have been in full-time roles, but with Angie Martin being promoted to head up the program, you've been around them. You know them very well. I know they spoke very highly of you when I've been around them. What is it about the Martins that you're glad to see that they're going to be continuing to lead this program after a guy I know you really admired in Coach McNichols?
They're very special, and special in terms of how they care for the sport, how they care for the athlete, and how they treat the athletes like we're their kids. There's no differentiation between us and Emma and Blake, and that's really nice, and that's what athletes need to get in order to progress. Once I see a coach putting everything into me, if I'm doing bad, she feels bad about it. If I didn't perform good out of me, or if I was emotionally hurt, she cries with me as well. So seeing a coach doing that, me as an athlete and the team in general, we don't want to let her down or let Coach Martin down. All right, so we tend to put our all into it and more after that. All right, so we tend to give 120%. And that's how Coach Martin is special to us. So with that being said, I'm so happy that she got the promotion. And we could continue to take Indiana State athletics in the correct direction. Maybe if we had heard somewhere else, it would have probably gone in the next direction, and yeah, it could probably be successful. But we're staying on the correct road and staying with the Martins, and I think that's a brilliant decision.
One of course, your major accolades was being able to make the Olympics. What do you remember most about that experience, and why that's going to be always sticking with you throughout as you continue to race professionally?
What I remember most about that going to the Olympics in 2012 is so emotional. No one thought that 3 Barbadian athletes would go to the Olympics in one particular event, which is the 110-meter hurdles, and no one thought that someone from a lesser D1 school or a mid-sized D1 school, which is Indiana State, will actually make it to the Olympics as well. And why it was so emotional for me, I wasn't a junior or I wasn't a senior on the track team. I was a sophomore, and someone of a sophomore caliber shouldn't even be thinking about going to the Olympic Games. That's madness in some people's eyes. But again, thankfully, me coming to Indiana State, it helped me to see my talent as an athlete. And as a freshman and a sophomore, Coach McNichols, he saw that talent in me, and he was able to develop that talent. And me being a sophomore then, he took that talent and put it on the track and was able to take me to the Olympic Games.
When you see as an alum Darius what he was able to do, Marcus this past year, to see that tradition continue to build, what does that mean to you to know that that tradition is continuing to be building? You brought up how people may look at this as a mid-major program, but I know a guy like you, Darius, Marcus, everyone who's a part of that program, they don't feel like it's mid-major at all.
No, not. Just to see the tradition continue, that means that, hey, the coaches at Indiana State, they're probably doing something correct, you know. And even though with the passing of Coach McNichols, we are still able to continue that tradition, right? So that means something has been embedded in Indiana State hurling and Indiana State track and field in general, you know. Darius Washington, just to start off with him, he's a brilliant young man, you know. He have good characteristics on and off the track. He's now a police officer at Indiana State PD, right? But on the track, he was amazing. You know, to me, he did something bigger than I did, because he came into Indiana State running a lot slower than I did. But his senior year, he went 13.40. And I can rattle off his stats because, you know, he have a special place in my heart, you know, Darius. But coming in, I mean, his senior year, he went 13.40. And that's absolutely amazing, because that's only 0.05 off the school record, which I hold. With that, I saw Marcus coming in, all right? By the time Marcus came in, I was a junior in college. You know, Marcus is a freshman. And his freshman year, he didn't even make the team, you know. So, and for not even making the team as a freshman, and if I remember correctly, he is fifth fastest hurler in the Indiana State history at 1360, and that's a really, really good achievement from what he have done in the past. You know, I don't think that he could have write that script himself at all.
For Sycamores that may be about to join the program, and maybe even those that are currently part of that program, what's one piece of advice that you have for them that, you know, maybe you of course have had an outstanding career and it's still going on, but one thing you wish maybe you would have known when you started that it could have helped you more at the beginning, to those that maybe are starting that process or trying to get to that ultimate stage that you've been on?
Keep an open mind, you know. Be ready to learn everything. Be aggressive about learning, okay? And still have a lot of fun with it, you know. Just because you're an incoming freshman, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be the best on this team, okay? When you come in, learn from the seniors, but don't be scared of them, all right? Train to beat them, because when you get on that line, it's all even. You only become a special one when you adhere to authority or you buy into the system. And then even when you become a special one, you'll still not be treated any differently, because I'm still here, right? You'll still not be treated any differently, but you will see the results even as a freshman.
You talked a lot about the developmental process. So does that mean I have a chance to still be a great hurler here at Indiana State?
Well, of course, you know. Well, of course, as I said, if you buy into the program, of course, anybody have a chance.
Gregmar is way too nice, because there's no way this body physique could even match up to Gregmar Swift. Gregmar, thanks so much for stopping by and spend some time with us, and congrats on all the success you've had, and definitely look forward to much more.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
Once again, that was Gregmar Swift. For Gregmar Swift and everybody with Indiana State Track and Field, stay locked in to GoSycamores.com.